Well, India in firmly in control of the second test match against England. They are leading by 249 runs. They still have 9 wickets in hand. Dramatic second day. In fact, yesterday when India won the toss, many had believed that half of the job was done with the winning of the toss. And now today, that clearly India establishing that they are in the driver's seat, 249 runs ahead. I'm joined by sports editor Rohit Mahajan yet again. Rohit, through the course of the day, a commentator made a comment saying that this is a powder and pebble track. Surely not a normal track.
Certainly not a normal track. 15 wickets fell today, and India, after second day, have already a lead of nearly 250. And in the previous test, England's first innings was still not over by the second day, was over. So it's certainly not a normal track in India. Of course, normal tracks in India do spin after the second day, maybe the fifth session, second day, third session maybe. But this spun right from the first day. So it's certainly not a normal track, and which now puts into perspective the fantastic innings Rohit Sharma played and the rate at which he scored, which was really amazing on such a track. 70 runs, as we discussed, every 100 balls, so which is amazing. And it's not that the track has significantly deteriorated over the last 24 hours or over the first and second innings, since when Rohit batted first and now when England batted. It was tricky yesterday as well. So it's a tribute to Rohit's abilities on such a track, especially on Indian tracks, that he managed such a fantastic knock, half the runs. And now his average in India is nearly 84. I think it is 384 against his average of about 27 outside India, which just goes on to show that he's such a skillful player when it comes to Indian conditions.
Okay, now talking about the Indian bowling today, because they managed to keep England under check, though the conditions were in their favour. But still, the spinners bowling really well.
Yeah. You know what? We were discussing Kuldeep Yadav yesterday, and Sanjay Manjrekar knows cricket better than me, certainly. So he said that it's not a track which would favour a bowler like Yadav. It's a track which would favour a bowler, more of a bowler like Akshar Patel, who's in terms of his bowling speed, in terms of his being left arm spinner, more like the guy we are missing, Ravindra Jadeja. So yes, that seems to be a factor. That on such a track, probably not giving the batsman enough time to maybe think about or making the ball hurry onto the wicket and off the track. Maybe that's significant. That certainly seems significant on a couple of occasions when Root tried to sweep Akshar Patel off a very full delivery. That has been a very effective stroke for Root through the series, and before that in Sri Lanka as well. He scored heavily there as well. He scored heavily in the first match here. So that's a stroke he's extremely confident about, and that's a stroke that it depends on so heavily. But yet he was out to such a stroke, and that also can happen. Probably the difference was that maybe the speed at which that ball was delivered, and he top edged it, and he was out. So and Ashwin got 5 wickets. Ashwin,
that's what I was coming.
Very, very wily spinner. Just the sort of track he thrives on. He got a 5-wicket haul yet again in India after the previous 5-wicket haul in the previous test as well. He did both some very good deliveries, and the one that got Stokes stood out around the wicket, drifting in, pitching on middle and leg, and then turning enough to beat the outside edge and bend back off stump. So overall, a very good performance by the Indian spinners on a helpful track.
Also, interestingly, Rohit, apart from the spinners, obviously this is a turning track. A performance of the fast bowlers, Ishant Sharma and Siraj, bowling just few overs and still taking one crucial wicket, and Ishant Sharma taking 2. So clearly, not just spinners, the pace bowlers also pitching in, despite the fact they were not given many overs.
Yeah, Siraj probably got a bit lucky with that leg side, and the catch was excellent, diving catch by punt behind the stumps. Maybe that's not a ball which deserves a wicket.
Right.
Ishan probably could have got more. I think
Right.
he may have been a bit unlucky. He beat the edge many times, and he got the edge also many times. And yeah, 2 wickets, useful wickets for Ishan. As we were discussing yesterday, I think I would agree, as we were saying yesterday as well, that it makes sense to rest Bumrah. Bumrah had bowled a lot of overs in the previous match, so it does make sense to rest him in this match, in which he may not have got too many overs to bowl, in which pace may not have been very significant.
Right.
So, but yes, good bowling by Ishant. I think he's just the right kind of guy. He bowls a very nagging length and line, and he troubles both left-handers and right-handers. So I think good show by Ishant as well.
Okay. Also interesting, if we can touch upon Rishabh Pant, his wicket keeping today was quite, up to the mark, contrary to what has been happening. I mean, he's been doing quite well in this particular test match. Held a couple of catches, two good catches.
Yeah.
So he seems to have improved with his wicket keeping, right?
I don't know whether you can call it an improvement. It's just that when he misses a couple of chances, it looks extremely ugly, and especially if it costs the team a lot of runs, which happened a couple of times with Labuschagne in Australia, maybe a few other times in Australia. So he's not a terrible wicket-keeper, but he does tend to make keeping errors. Maybe he snatches at the ball. Maybe he needs to be a little more calm behind the stumps and let the ball come to him. I don't know. I think Kirmani had some suggestions for him just the other day. But I mean, he's not really a terrible keeper. He's a fairly athletic guy, and as we saw today, it's just that often when you drop two catches in a match, and they turn out to be expensive, then it becomes more stark. Those errors become more stark.
But undoubtedly, he's becoming a very reliable batsman in India. 58 runs, I mean, those were crucial runs in the first inning. I mean, 10-20 runs are important, but here he added 30-odd runs with the last 2 wickets. So clearly, batting seems to have improved top-notch for Rishabh Pant.
Again, I wouldn't really, I wouldn't describe it as an improvement. He's an attacking batsman, and when it comes off, it looks very pretty. You might remember in Australia, he hit a 6 of Nathan Lyon, when the previous ball had jagged right across him, and the next ball he had the courage to actually step out and hit a 6 over long on. So he's that kind of batsman. If he had been dismissed of that ball, we probably would have been criticizing him, but he took us to a win. He's an attacking batsman. There will be times when we will, I mean, maybe that's unfair, but we'll be criticizing him for throwing away his wicket at crucial moments. But then again, we also praise him so much for the match-winning innings that he played, and he continues to play. And now he's got 4 half centuries in the last 4 test matches: Sydney, Brisbane, Chennai. And then again Chennai. So good batting by. I mean, there are suggestions that maybe he should move up the batting order.
Okay.
I don't know whether that would work, but but let's not forget that 2 years ago he got a huge century in Australia. He's got a big century in England, and I think he's the only Indian wicketkeeper to get centuries in both Australia and England, and he's getting higher on the list of Indian batsmen to have hit 6s. I think he's around 11th position now. In his short career, he's shown that he has the ability to hit the big shots. So I hope that he sort of controls himself more, and that he reins his aggression a bit, and maybe he would not be the same player then, but looks good right now.
Okay, and looking ahead, Rohit, do you think that England still has a chance, or India is
No,
firmly
no,
this test match in control?
no chance. They don't have a chance.
Okay, but for India, I mean, the track is turning, but you have Rohit Sharma who's doing quite well even in the second innings. So, what is the kind of target India would be looking at?
India
Uh,
will be looking at a target. They will try to bat out,
Bat out.
bat for as long as possible,
Right.
bat the whole day tomorrow,
Right.
and if they are not dismissed, and bat into the third day as well. Why not? Let the track deteriorate a bit more, and then maybe give themselves maybe. I think they would be out in three sessions within 3 sessions, one day. I suspect.
And also, the key to India's success in this series would be toss and Joe Root.
Yeah.
So, in the second inning, you would obviously hope.
Again, yeah. But you know what? Toss is extremely important.
Right.
It was very significant, especially in the first test.
Right.
Here also, it's very important. But then again, the wicket was turning yesterday as well. It was
Right.
vicious yesterday as well.
Right.
So it's not. It wouldn't be fair to say that toss was the decisive
Right.
a factor which made difference between defeat or victory. One has to give credit to Rahane and Rohit for the way they added over 160 runs, and Rohit for his knock of 160 on such a track. So, but yes, toss always is crucial in India. It's
Also,
not decisive, I think. In this
are we looking at another big score from Rohit Sharma tomorrow? Hopefully, but the track is really getting obnoxious.
Yeah. Of course, you would. I mean, one would hope for a competitive match tomorrow,
Right.
in which the bowlers also are able to come into play and trouble the batsman, and the batsmen then fight it out and score runs. That's more attractive than seeing a one-sided play. So I would hope to see more exciting cricket tomorrow. Good bowling and good cricket and good batting to counter good bowling. So that would be more exciting for me personally, rather than a mountain of runs yet again.
And also, there's been a little bit of a controversy about this umpiring decision. Rohit Sharma, the umpire ruling that he had tried to play the shot. He obviously, from action replays, it looked it was just not actually playing a shot. There have been quite a few questionable decisions in this test match.
Yeah, you know what? Due to the COVID protocols, now neutral umpires, they cannot really travel
Right.
frequently from one country to the other. So the ICC has allowed the home umpires to officiate in these test matches, and they are not very experienced umpires, to be very honest. I wouldn't. Does a matter of nationalism come in? I don't know. It may happen that when an umpire is looking at a decision in which his team, his own, there might be a bias. I'm not saying that they are biased, but subconsciously, I don't know. Like yesterday, Rohit's stumping, I would have said that was out.
Out.
That was out to
Right.
anybody.
Right.
But the umpire, I don't know, maybe some other camera angles were available to him. This I'm not aware of.
Right.
But from the evidence we saw on screen,
He seemed to be.
I thought he was out. Then again, another decision against Rahane, the umpire did not check whether the ball had traveled further.
And it
It didn't check the further.
Despite the fact Root had in fact insisted that it should.
Yeah, Root wanted that to be checked. And I don't know what happened. Was that a problem of language? Why was not the on-field umpire able to communicate to the third umpire that this is what we need to check? Yeah, but luckily for England and for the umpires,
Rahane got out.
both of them got out very soon after that. I'm not saying that it's. I mean, overall, the umpiring has been quite good, to
Right,
be
yeah,
extremely
yeah,
honest.
I know.
But these decisions do stick out. But one has to take into account that these are not really international level umpires. These are maybe a rung below the international level umpires. They are not really very conversant with maybe the language or maybe the accents, maybe the different.
But I guess you
ball
can't
weight.
just blame the Indian umpires. I mean, it happened in Australia.
It
I mean, there were
happened.
some poor decisions there as well.
Yeah. So what I'm
Yeah,
saying
I
is that due to the COVID
Right.
protocols, umpires, the best umpires are probably not able to. I mean, they are not able to travel.
Right.
So, yeah. But even neutral umpires have made similar decisions,
Right.
or similar, or maybe not as or blatant sort of decisions, like the edge of Rahane. Maybe not as bad as that. But neutral umpires also have made errors. So let's not be very unfair to these umpires.
Right. Thank you so much, Rohit. So there you have day 2 over. India firmly in control, and as Rohit mentioned, it seems very unlikely that England would manage to save this Test match. It seems that India are firmly in control, and they are on firm footing to level the series 1-1. But crucial sessions tomorrow. Few innings India need to bat England out of this Test match. They will obviously try to score as many runs as possible, but the track, as we mentioned, is turning. So it remains to be seen what kind of target India sets England, and whether they'll be able to bowl out India tomorrow. We'll keep on tracking this Test match. You can also log on to our website tribuneindia.com, and also our other social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Meanwhile, thanks for watching.